So just a little bit more to expand on what was just said about how we started a partnership. I mean, Richard really had a vision for if we're going to be in the community, we really need to be in the community, not just located in the community. And so when he found Loving Houston and realized that here was a ready-made plan kind of for us to connect with a school, he just went for it. So we are in our third year, but second full school year of participating with Cedar Brook. And we started off, which I think makes the most sense, blessing the teachers and the staff, and hopefully earning the right to be on campus, earning the right to interact with both the teachers and the staff. And now we're getting to the point where we've got some interaction with the families, which is really, really exciting, and where we hope we can expand even more. So I'm just going to give you a brief rundown of what we are currently doing at Cedar Brook, which is a continuation and a few additions from what we did in the beginning. This school year, we started off on August 18th. We had a group of people from CEPC go over to Cedar Brook to help the teachers prepare their classrooms for the start of school. So we did bulletin boards, we did filing books, there were new tabs on the books. They had a new filing system, or no more Dewey Decimal or whatever that was. And so worked in the library. We provided lunch for the staff that day, and it was just a real blessing, I think, to those of us from CEPC, even much more so than for the teachers. But we got to meet some of the new staff and the principal. At that point, on the 18th, we still did not have a permanent principal. Mr. Post, who had been the principal at Cedar Brook, left to take on another job, and so they were in an interim position. But by the time school officially started, at least a weekend, we did have new principal, and she's absolutely wonderful, Alejandra Perez. So the 18th, we did that, and then as you may remember, about 7-8 days later, Hurricane Harvey hit, and so school had to come to an abrupt halt. During Harvey and post-Harvey, CEPC was able to help some families out at Cedar Brook, both school children families as well as some staff families, with some physical labor, providing some meals and providing some funding for those both that had lost jobs because of the hurricane and others who just needed some additional financial help to get through this hump of the hurricane. So school finally started back up on September 11th again. So we did a Bless the Teachers one more time to help them get started again, and just provided them little goodie bags to help them get going. Later on in September, we hosted a mentor training here at CEPC. Last year, we had 3 members of CEPC who are mentoring. This year, we have 7. Most of them are at Cedar Brook. There are a couple that are at other places, but we're really excited that we've expanded that program. In October, we helped out with their book fair. We had 8 to 12 volunteers for the entire week of the book fair, helping the children pick out books and just helping make sure that they had enough money for the things that they wanted. And it was such a really neat thing to do. We have a pastoral intern here who is Hispanic, and Axel is his name. And Axel was there, I think, 3 different days, and was so much help and so fun to watch him interact with the kids. November, we helped the PTA with what they do called Thankful Pie Day, where they provide a pie for every staff person, and then you ended up being able to provide for bus drivers and some other locations too, I believe. In the past, it's been done the day before they let out for Thanksgiving holiday, which was a Wednesday, so they'd have the pies on Thursday. This year, the school district had the whole week of Thanksgiving off, so they just got pies early to get started on their, gut growing the weekend before Thanksgiving. So we got to do that. December, we helped kick off their 12 Days of Christmas staff blessing by providing coffee, cocoa, and pastries for an early morning for the teachers. What made that extra special is that was the morning it snowed. So I left my house at 5:30 in the morning out in Jersey Village and pulled out of my driveway and went, what is that? Strangest thing to drive through the city of Houston with snow all over the place. But it was a really, really fun event and a real blessing for us. January, we sort of laid low. February, we did a Valentine's luncheon for the teachers. We did a pasta dish with salad and dessert. And again, I think those of us who came to serve from CEPC were much more blessed than the teachers were, just being able to visit with them. We also gave each of the staff members a little gift. The weekend before this, we had our women's retreat, and we made votive candle holders, stained glass looking things, tissue paper, really pretty. So we were able to give one of those to every staff member, and that was kind of fun for us. Whether they put pencils or candles in it, didn't matter. So here we are. March, again, was kind of a lay low. April, we have our church missions weekend, the 13th through the 15th of April, and one of our service project areas will be at Cedar Brook. The primary project we're doing is to help them construct framework for the booths that they use for their carnival, which will be the end of April, and these then can be used year after year. We'll also be doing some paw prints. They are the bulldogs, and they have paw prints outside the front of their school, and I assume that people buy those and donate to the PTA and can put their child's name in them. So they've run out of paw prints, and we're going to do some more paw prints. So that's going to be a fun day. And then on Sunday of that week, we will have a table set up in what we call our Main Street hallway out here with information about Cedar Brook. And I believe both of these ladies may be at church on Sunday. Oh, awesome. Okay. So that will be fun for our congregation to, get faces with some of the names that they've heard. End of April is their carnival. We are hoping to have at least a table there, and I'll tell you why in a minute, or we may be hosting one of their booths. We're still kind of working out the details on that. In May, we've got Teacher Appreciation Day. We will do something on one day for that, and then their STAR testing, we'll do something else to support the staff for all of that. So that takes us through the end of the school year. Now the real exciting stuff, I think. We are, as I said earlier, beginning to actually connect with some of the families. Axel, whose name I mentioned earlier, our pastoral intern, has started doing a Bible study with a small group of families from Cedar Brook. Some of those families have begun attending CEPC, so we're very, very excited that we're getting a little entree into actually interacting with the families. And the brainchild of Axel is that we host a soccer camp this summer for children from Cedar Brook. We've got a wonderful retention pond out here that's just, perfectly made for soccer. And our youth barn is a great location for having a ton of kids in and out. So we have that soccer camp scheduled for June 25th through the 23rd to 29th, 25th through 29th. And as I said, at the carnival, we hope to have at least a table set up to begin registering children for that camp. Then hopefully, if they come to the camp, they will also want to come to our Vacation Bible School, which is in July. So that is, in a very large nutshell, what we have been able to do this year with Cedar Brook, and it would not happen if we didn't have the support of the PTA and the staff from Cedar Brook to allow us to do what we do, to give us a lot of latitude in doing what we do. And I know there's so much more that we can do, but it's just an exciting partnership. And now I'm going to let these ladies, from their point of view, let you know what this partnership has looked like.
Thank you. I'm Danielle Trump. I'm the counselor at Cedar Brook Elementary, and I've been fortunate enough to be a part of this journey the past 2 years, and it has been amazing. As an educator, before becoming a counselor, it's been the hardest job I've ever done being a teacher. Being a counselor is not much easier, but the demands are a lot different, and I can control my stressors a lot more. But having the support of a church, of a group of people who want to give to adults and children is unbelievable. We can't do it without more help. Some parents can't give any more than they're giving. Some teachers can't give any more than they're already giving. So having people outside in the community willing to come in and give more of themselves to help grow our small community, which we call Cedar Brook, our little family, has been amazing. I'm going to talk specifically quickly about the mentoring program we've been so fortunate, and it directly impacts the kids, which directly impacts my job. I love seeing the teachers happy, full bellies and everything. That's been great. But I love the mentoring the most, is my favorite. They give themselves, their time to our kids. They learn things that their teachers may not even know about them. So as you guys embrace the idea of connecting with schools, or if you already are, mentoring is an amazing way for your congregation to really impact one child, but in a lifelong experience for them. So I appreciate everything you guys have done for us and what you're doing individually with the children when you come out and mentor. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Peroni, and I was the Cedar Brook PTA president for 2 years. And what I love most about our relationship with the church is the ability to look back and see kind of the preparation and the planning that God had in store for this relationship. And I will say, I know there were lots of wonderful things that she just mentioned, but it all started with one event. And so I want to caution you that, whenever you go to meet with a school, start with one event, maybe one a semester. It doesn't have to be dive into the deep end, but one event is so appreciated by the staff and by the family members. And so this was late night. I just kind of had written some stuff down, and I just thought it was such a blessing to look back and how God had prepared the church, how they had been working with other student organizations or children organizations, and then, Twitter, that one day that the pastor sits down and sees that Twitter feed come across, and then having members in the church that were able to support him and to say, hey, we're going to look at 3 or 4 different school options, and Cedar Brook came out on top. We're a school in their backyard, basically, that really needed help, and some of the congregation didn't realize that there was a school in such need. And I just think that it's not by accident. The pastor had said that they host other events here in the church. I'm actually with a Bible study, BSF, that is housed in this church, and we're studying Romans right now. And I just thought it was so wonderful. In the last couple of weeks, we have been studying about love thy neighbor, and the fulfillment of the law is love. And so I just think, I look back and I see all of these things lining up. And I will tell you, I'm not supposed to be the PTA president this year, kind of been still filling in. But having this relationship with the church has been amazing, because my words for this year have been finish strong. And without the church and without their love and support, I don't know if the PTA could have finished strong like we're going to this year. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because every time that there's been a moment where it's been like, oh, this is a lot, I'm supposed to be moving on to middle school and working with something, I've received a phone call, or I've received an email, or I've seen one of the church members in the school, and it's like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, I needed you today. I needed your smile. I just needed you here for a moment of encouragement. And the teachers, whenever they feed lunch, and they bring those special little baskets, that's one thing that Susie and I recently talked about, is for them to start working on just words of encouragement. In our hallway, we have 3 little cards that some of the staff members had put, or some of the congregation had put with their pies, and we've hung them in the hallway just as words of encouragement of how much they love us and how they have prayed for us. And sometimes that's all you need just to keep going. And so just know that it's going to start with one event, and hopefully it does grow into this wonderful relationship. But there are schools out there that they just need that 1 or 2 event to keep going.